We will look at 3 key things. We'll discuss. I will not be teaching you. I know you have been doing these things. Now we want to...
The Rosa Luxemburg Stiftung Transformational Mentorship and Fellowship Program Africa is a team of 4 facilitators drawn from a diverse professional background. The team that was unveiled in the year 2017 enjoys immense wealth of expertise in advocacy, policy analysis, international relations, governance, geopolitics, Pan-Africanism, management, finance, conflict resolution, and academia. Within a short span of time, the team that has mentored 30 young mentees is led by Eve Niyiragira. The Executive Director, Fahamu Networks for Social Justice, assisted by other professionals, Lazarus Kubasu, Mildred Ngesa, and Martin Brown Monene.
Within the team, we have a wide range of expertise. We have conflict managers, we have conflict resolution experts, we have organizational development experts, gender advisor. Basically, whatever expertise we require for the success of this program is well represented in the team. The Transformational Leadership Program Africa is an initiative that was conceived out of the several studies that have been undertaken, and basically looking at the role of the youth and how active or involved the youth are in resolving conflicts in this country. And one of the key things we really emphasize is the youth action through a transformative leadership approach.
I hear you talk about the problems that you have. I hear you talk about the interventions that you have. But you know, as leaders, because you already are leaders, we are not talking to beginners, you already are leaders, you are faced by challenges that force you to love or to lead still in unprecedented ways.
To be admitted as a fellow to the Rosa Luxemburg Stiftung Transformational Mentorship and Fellowship Program Africa, one must meet a well-established criteria. This includes one being a youth and must be in a position of leadership, must demonstrate great desire to act as change agent, must have leadership skills and demonstrate how he or she intends to use them in transforming society through political, economic, social, or environmental impact.
What Youth Initiatives Kenya does, sometimes juggling between 2 jobs has not been easy. I'm supposed to be in Mandera this week. Next week, I'm supposed to be in the head office in Nairobi. And at Youth Initiatives Kenya, I have 10 staff, fully paid. But unfortunately, sometimes even getting resources for you to manage small programs has been really tough. Since the Global Office for Aid and the USAID decided to reduce funding for health initiatives in Africa, Plan decided to terminate the agreement we had that was supposed to go up to 2024. So I have 4 staff who have gone home now, who are implementing the program. So sometimes leadership is all about sacrifice. So what I did is, from my salary from Youth Initiatives Kenya, I decided those 4 staff are not going home. So I'd rather forfeit my salary and pay them as we fundraise for more programs. Because I already have another salary under UN, which is far much better than what Youth Initiatives Kenya was giving me.
The RLS Transformational Mentorship and Fellowship Program is an intense one-on-one 16 weeks training where each tackles a particular area of concern to the fellows. Upon completion, the RLS facilitators conduct an evaluation process to determine how the fellows have fared on and provide any necessary support to nurture and amplify the skills acquired.
My experience with the RLS really helped me to narrow down what I needed to do and how I needed to do it because of the evaluation that they gave us. Another very important thing about RLS is that it brought young people together, so we were able to meet and even to collaborate on the various projects that we're doing, which I found was the most helpful bit about the RLS fellowship.
During this fellowship, I've been able to interact with 4 amazing mentors, Kubasu, Martin, Mildred and Eves. And these 4 people have impacted my life in many different perspectives, especially on communication as a leader, and especially on focusing on identifying that purple cow, that, you know, that niche that will set you apart from the rest of the people who are doing the same things as you are. I've come to understand that in as much as everyone is working on gender equality, which is one of the issues that is close to my heart, there is a way I can look at it and do it in such a way that I achieve more impact. I leave a mark more than the rest of the people who have come before me and who are going to come after me. And because of that, I've become a better leader. I've become someone who looks at gender equality and tries to see what's the intersectioning point of gender equality and how can I be able to break it down. And then in the breaking it down, how can I be able to also bring it together and ensure that all the aspects of gender equality are able to benefit the people that I work with.
The program, as you all know, is meant to be transformational, to help support young youthful leaders from various ethnic diversities to face a number of challenges that that are of course impacting on our country. And one of it is the issues of ethnicity, issues of corruption. If you look at many ethnic conflicts in Kenya, they are results of the culture of eating. It is our time to eat. So this program was developed as to build that sense of responsibility, that sense of agency in terms of young people being objective, young people being transformational, young people taking responsibility to solve the problems and the challenges that they have in their community.
Our community is very helpful because of the question you asked about the
Our production team caught up with a few mentees who are making huge impact within their communities. One such leader is community mobilizer and winner of this year's Lobbyist for Change Award, Rachel Mwikali. Born and bred in Mathare informal settlement, the fast-rising feminist has broken the ceiling through advocacy, human rights activism, and championing gender mainstreaming. She managed to grab the attention of the world by raising her fist at the Stockholm Gender Forum, which has seen the Swedish ambassador visit her coalition for grassroots human rights defenders office right at the heart of Mathare Valley.
I was nominated by the Swedish Embassy to attend the Stockholm Gender Forum, which was on 15th of April up to 17th of April this year, though I stayed in Sweden for 2.5 months. I was spoiled, but positively. What I really learned is that being in different panels, because the first panel I was for Plan International, to try to look like the challenges the adolescent girls are going through in different countries and different environments. What came out is that it doesn't matter which country you're coming from or which continent you're coming from. We all experience patriarchy in different forms, girls and women, and I was very specific to say they need to bring the language of girls. Because sometimes when you talk about women, we tend to forget we are living these girls that are growing up. So what we said is that it's very important to try to see the challenges that they are going through and involve them.
This has been the biggest event that this government has been doing for 4 years. We had ministers from almost every country in the entire world, and we have prominent women, such as Rachel, also participating, and as you heard, sharing experiences. And I have to say, you here, but also you here as Kenyans, can also be very proud of Rachel, having also been selected to speak at the final panel with the very most high-level people, including our foreign minister. And she really did you a big promotion, I would say, also being very clear on the work that you're doing and the ideas that come from here. So it's really something that I also am very proud of, knowing Rachel, that she contributed in such an important way.
In the same spirit, other RLS compatriots are making inroads in mitigating religious sectarianism, extremism, and discrimination, talent recognition for the youth, pro bono legal services, among other areas of skills development and transformational leadership.
I'm really trying to produce more leaders in Canberra, more leaders who are courageous and more leaders who who have integrity and more leaders who are transparent, so that at least we can walk this journey. And also I want to fill the gap. If I'm not there today in Kibera, who is going to be the next editor? Who is going to fight for women? So through RLS, a lot of things has happened and a lot of transition has happened. Like today, it is August holiday, and I'm really walking this path with teenagers girls. And I've chosen 10 teenage girls in Kibera to work with them, teach them, facilitate to them, and also mentor them the way RLS did to me.
We want to make sure the program which we want to launch is a program which is going to ensure that each and every development activity or agenda which is going to be carried out in Kiambu sub-county, in every ward, we must make sure that our youth are involved. If it is something to do with roads, then we have our people working there. If they have to have lunch, then we talk with our people who have hotels, they supply food there. So it's a project in which anything which is going to take place in our places, our people are empowered. But where I see myself in the coming years, I'm going to be somebody who's going to really transform the way people look at things in this way. We have these leaders who, when the moment they just get elected, the first thing they think is how they're going to get their money back they used for campaign. But I'm this kind of leader who believes that you don't have to use money during your campaigns. You can tell people your manifesto. Your agendas can really sell you out there. And so long as you're telling people something which is genuine, you're not lying. Most of them usually tell lies. Some of them tell you in a period of 200 days after the election is done, I'm going to do this and this, A, B, C, D. But then now, years are just flipping, and sometimes you don't see these things, but I don't want to be that kind of leader. And I'm also going to be somebody who's going to inspire the young people, who's going to bring the lost hope and also reclaim the lost glory of the youth.
Why do you think you can lead? Do you think you can lead?
The Rosa Luxembourg Stieftung Transformational Fellowship Africa program held a symposium in Nairobi, inviting 160 participants from private sector, public sector, civil society and academia to come together and share experiences, the challenges and milestones the young leaders have and continues to make in the political, economic, social and environmental fronts.
I have come up with a platform, an educational platform that we are trying to use to ensure that children from the rural areas are able to access the same education with children from urban centers. And with this project, I have managed to bring various organizations. Currently, we have Inspire Nyeri, which is a community-based library that is using the system. And then we are also in the process of also welcoming Education for All, which is also a community-based organization dealing with education for special children with special needs. So we believe that having a business that impacts the society is something that can also take this country to another level.
We focus on education, ensuring that girls and boys go to school, first enrollment, and also ensuring that they remain in school safe from retrogressive cultural practices like FGM, female genital mutilation, early marriages, cattle rustling, or moralism. As you know, Samburus are pastoralists, and these are some of the issues that affect them, making kids drop out of school. So through mentorship and other support programs like scholarships, we connect them to people who provide scholarships, and especially mentorship. We ensure that these kids remain and complete school so that they can now transition to other levels of education.
At the moment, I have two businesses. One is an hotel where I've employed 12 people, most of them being the youths. Most women being single mothers, and the few male that I've employed in my hotel, where this dude was actually a criminal, a terrible thief. He was almost stoned to death. And then later on, after a week, I sought him out. I looked for him and called him, and then I told him, "Hey, how are you? Apart from this stealing, must you steal so you can do something with your life?" And then he told me, "Yeah, me, I don't have anything. I can't do anything, but what I know, I can cook." And then I asked him, "What can you cook?" He told me, "You can cook ugali." Because if one can cook ugali, others you can just teach him because he's an adult, he's over 18 years old. To cut the story short, that man is now owning his own car kiosk, worth almost 30,000 after a year. He's no longer stealing. The community is safe. I have another girl whose husband and 2 kids and mother-in-law died at the same time. My business tend to contain them.
There are so many testimonies that we have gotten from them. Some have talked to us how they were transformed from entrepreneurs to social entrepreneurs who are not just minding the profits bit, but also looking at the social impact of their businesses. We have seen some people, testify of moving from a lower position in their places of work to a higher position. We have seen some people being called after sharing the lessons they learned in this initiative. We have seen people being called to be to take up leadership positions in their various groups, and also others have throughout the period. We have seen a lot of people come back to us to seek for assistance in terms of ideas, in terms of networks, in terms of skills and practical bits of how to handle their work. And also some of them have invited us to participate or provide some bit of expertise in their programs, in those grassroots initiatives that they are running.
I have been able to be part of this project from the beginning. Attended almost all the sessions that have been happening. I was really touched by the energy and the enthusiasm you see in these young leaders, by the way they seemed to need this kind of intervention. At first they also did kind of not know so much about what to expect or what actually they would want to get out of it, but how it started, the interactions, the interventions by the mentors, the questions, the strategic questions that were being posed to them to kind of provoke them to think more about what they really needed to do, kind of opened them up. So it went beyond actually what we had imagined before, because it touched on so many other aspects of leadership that at first even the participants didn't know that actually they were engaging in leadership in that detail to that level. So that's how it went on. But generally looking at the feedback from the youth, first their personal told stories of the feedback. It has been very positive. They have liked it. They have shared stories of how they have been kind of transformed themselves as leaders in understanding the nature of their work, how to frame their interventions, new ways, new transformative ways of planning their activities, engaging their communities, like building networks, building bridges between communities which are involved in conflicts or different ways. But also equally important, and which is also very important to note, is how this program has helped these young leaders in many ways in lifting them up in their positions, in the status in different ways. We have heard stories of young leaders, men and women, especially women actually, young women in this program, who have got different opportunities after they were exposed to this kind of training, which built their capacity in terms of their confidence, their ability to express themselves, to organize their arguments, and everything like that.